All right, guys, we are going to make this really cool sea turtle in Sketches Pro, and we're going to use a lot of layers and we're going to use a lot of different tools. So at any time during this video, if you need to pause it, go back to Sketches, keep going back and forth, feel free to do so. So what we're going to start with, we're going to start with a blank Sketches Pro screen, and we are going to actually come up here to our layers. This is going to be our friend today, and we're going to click on our layer tool, and you can see that when the red is highlighted, that is showing you that is the layer that you are working on. Do not work on this bottom layer here. That is your background, and we don't want to work on that. So we want to work on the first layer right here, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give an ocean background. So I like to come up to this watercolor tool right here. Okay, we're going to click on that. And let's click on it again, and we want to make sure that our wet brush is highlighted. Okay, then you want to come over to your colors, and let's give a nice light color, a light value to the top. You can hold it down if you want to go a different color. I want a little more of a turquoise. I'm going to pull my thing up here, and then I'm going to hit the word add, and hopefully you guys all know how to do that. Okay, so now I have this light blue. I'm just going to check on my brush size down here. I'm going to make it about here. And to see the edge of the paper, what I do is I take 2 fingers and I pinch in. Okay, and you can see the edge of your paper and just go back and forth. Now to me that is way too small. I'm going to tap 2 fingers and undo it, and I'm going to bring it up. I want to get this ocean painted very quickly. So I'm going to go back and forth, okay? And now I think I want to go a little bit darker. We're going with value, a darker value, because we're going deeper into the ocean. Come back over to your colors, and let's pick a little bit darker of a color, maybe this one. And now I'm not going to start it right here. I'm going to start it right about here. So I blend, and you can see how it blends really nicely. Okay, now I'm going to go even darker. So I'm going to come over here and find a darker color. Maybe even that. And again, I'm going to start blending it. Now you might have your colors much more turquoise colored. I'm going to come down here. This is our watercolor brush. And I'm going to go over there. Okay, so that looks good to me. I have a gradation from light value to dark. So now what I want to do is I want to add those beams of light coming from the sunshine. So I'm going to stay on that same layer that I have, and I'm going to come up to here, and I'm going to use this crayon tool. Okay, and if you can see, when you click out of that watercolor brush, you're going to get this really cool watercolor texture paper that is on your canvas, which is a beautiful effect. So I'm going to click on white, and I'm going to check my size of my brush. I think my opacity is down too far, and I think I might want to do this texture here. I'm just going to see what it looks like. Now I'm going to come up here, and I am just going to draw some rays of light. So watch this. I'm going to do that. Don't make them all the same length. It kind of looks like a crayon or some chalk. You can go over them. All right. And if you press hard with your Logitech at the beginning and lighten up. So it kind of looks like a rake, right? Now what we want to do is we want to blend that. So I like to go to this blending tool right here. Okay. Oops, sorry. We're going to blend it. I'm going to check the size of my blender. And all you want to do is go over, and we're just blending that. So it looks like it's streaming through the ocean. I might actually bring it up a little bit. Right. should kind of look like those rays. I'm going back and forth. I know you can't really see my pen. And if you want to go up and add more, you can. I'm going to leave it like that for now. All right, and that's our background. So we want to come up to those layers again. Let's click on them. And now we want to add another layer here, okay? So let's click on that, and you're going to see we get a new layer. We notice that by the red mark, that means it's the layer that we're going to actively work on, and it is above our background. Okay, now I'm going to draw the turtle, and I gave you two different guides to go by, or you can also just look up a sea turtle for reference and draw your own. You don't have to follow the guide. I am going to turn off my background so I can see my drawing better. And how I want to do that is I want to come over to that background layer and see where that eyeball is. I want to click that, and that's just going to hide it for me. All right, it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere, but it is hidden so I can draw my turtle. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to pick one of my marker tools. I kind of like this one, but that's just me. You pick which one you like. I'm going to make a black, and I'm going to decide which size I want to do. All right, so on this layer now, we're going to draw the outline of the turtle, okay? So I'm going to go with one where my turtle's head is actually looking down, and you can follow along with me. You can look at one of the drawing guides and just do your own thing. Okay, so I'm going to do, you want to make your turtle big, but don't worry about it. I am going to do an oval. Now, I think that's too, I don't like it. So you can hit the undo button, or you can hit 2-finger tap. And I just want to bring my pen tool a little bit thinner. All right, so I am going to start by drawing that oval on its side. And you can zoom in or zoom out at any time. And let's just draw an oval. Okay. Now I'm following one of the guides where I'm going to add a lip to that. So let's do this. Okay. Now to do the top shell, there's many different ways, but this is the easiest way that I've ever found to do the top of a turtle shell, is to start by a couple lines, 1, and make them kind of curved, 2, 3, and maybe 4. Kind of looks like a loaf of bread, right? Then you want to take those ends, and let's draw some triangle points. Okay, and this one might go back to there. I don't really see it. All right, after that, you can really just simplify it and take those edges and come down to the lip or the edge of your turtle shell. Now you can make it much more detailed. I'm going for simple. And here. All right, so that's it. That's our turtle shell. Now you can put your head anywhere you want. I think I'm gonna start with some of those back legs because I'm following one of those sea turtle guides, so you could follow along. And they are just, oops, sorry. They're just U's. So I'm gonna do, no, I hit my opacity, so I want to put that back up. And this flipper's closer, so it's going to be bigger. We're going to go over here, and this flipper back here is going to be smaller than the one up here because it's farther away. So we're just going to do a curve. Oh, again, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Sorry. Going to do a curve and back. We want to do the front flipper up here. I'm going to come over here and maybe wiggle it around, bring it in. Okay, so we just need that head, right? All right, so let's come up here. We're going to add the turtle's head. I'm going to come in and out, back like that. It gets a little more narrow when it goes near the shell. Let's do an eye. All right. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so you can go into two-finger pinch out, and you can really zoom in. You can add some details on your flippers if you want, or maybe you just want to add some spots. I'm going to do this fast. Okay. And then two fingers pinch together. I'm going to come over here. And I don't want you tracing a turtle that you find on the internet, okay? I really want you to try and draw this on your own. It's called observational drawing. And maybe we want to add a couple. See, two fingers pinch in, pinch out. You can really zoom in. And I'm going to add some of these, just like scales on his flippers. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, two fingers, pinch in. Okay. Oops, sorry. Now, I'm going to come up to my layers. I'm going to click on that. And I want to turn on my background now. I kind of want to see what it looks like in the ocean. Now you notice, you see right through it, right? We're going to fix that in a minute. So I'm going to click out here. And I think my turtle is way too big. Okay, so to change that, I know a lot of you like to, in Keynote, once you draw something, you can scale it up or down. And you might not know how to do that in Sketches, so I'm going to show you. Go back up to those layers. It's the magic of layers. Okay, and now I want you to come to this wheel icon on your turtle layer. You want to click on that. And you want to come over here and it says transform. Okay, so we're going to click on that. Now, what you can do with two fingers, you can pinch in or out. And with those two fingers on your iPad, you can turn it any way you want. So I like it a little bit smaller, and I like it like that. So when I like it, I'm going to click that check mark. And there it is. It's right there. Perfect. All right, so now we're ready to add some color to our turtle. And I'm going to go back and turn off my background again. So, because that blue is just getting in the way. I want to come up here. I'm going to add another layer. So we're going to click that. But this time, I want to hold that layer down. And it's going to look like it's floating. And you want to pull it underneath your turtle line drawing. So it's going to be between your turtle and your ocean. And here is where we're going to put the color of your turtle. All right, so let's use another tool. We've used our watercolor tool, we used our marker tool. This time I would like to use my acrylic brush, which is that flat brush. I'm going to click that. All right, and I am going to find kind of a light yellow. If you look in, I don't like any of the yellows here, so I'm going to click down, hold it down. And let's see, I'm going to get a little lighter and hit add. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint inside my turtle. But because I'm underneath my black line, I won't ruin my black line. Okay, so I'm just going to fill that all in. And again, two fingers pinch out so you can really get in there. All right. Now you can do it with more orangey color. Look at in that video we saw, Nat Geo video of the colors of the sea turtles. They're not blue and green. They are more of a yellow and a brown. So I'm just giving it a base color. If you want, you can make your brush a little bigger and make it go a little faster. And again, you will not finish this in one class period, so don't worry if this is as far as you're getting. I'm gonna go around. I'm taking 2 fingers, because you can't see my fingers, 2 fingers on, and I'm moving it around. I noticed a lot of you guys draw really small and you don't zoom in or take advantage of the zoom. So 2 fingers on and get that nice and colored. Okay, I got 2 fingers on the screen. I'm pulling it down here. And I'm gonna just get like that back tail super fast. Gonna get in here. Oops. I don't like how it came out. So 2 fingers, tap will undo it, or you can always go up to there. And I'm gonna make my brush a little smaller. Come in and just paint that in. See if I got my head. Nope, forgot my head. I'm zooming in. Just gonna get this whole thing a yellow color. And the reason we're using this brush is because it's opaque. This will block out any of the blue underneath it. If you had done a watercolor brush, it would be transparent and you would see some of that blue coming through, which we don't want. So now we have this yellow turtle. We're gonna go back up to our layers. They are our friend. And you can see the color right there, the line drawing there, and the background. So let's turn that background back on. Hit the eye, and look, you can't see the blue coming through the shell and the turtle. So that's what we want. Last tool we're going to use is actually, we're going to go back to that crayon or oil pastel tool. And we're going to do that. And now I want to add some browns to add some texture and value. Value we saw will show form, which means it will show that the turtle is not just flat, he is round. So I'm going to start with maybe, I don't know, a little bit orangey brown. Again, I'm going to click add. I'm going to zoom in and let's see how big my brush is. I'm going to bring it down. And also, before we start, if we look at this, we know that our light is coming from up here, right? We already drew in the sun rays. So the darker areas are going to be around here, on the undersides of the flippers, on the underside of the head, here and here. So I'm going to start maybe with some. And again, I am on this yellow layer, so I am not affecting any of my lines. I can go right over it and you won't even see it. I'm going to zoom out. Maybe I want to, and if you press lightly, you're going to get this nice, almost like a colored pencil, you're going to get a nice light texture. If you press hard, you're going to get darker. So you just want to go through here and add some texture. Maybe you can always change the opacity of how light or dark it is. This is actually my favorite part, kind of coloring it in. Again, we want it darker on this side and later as it gets closer to those sun rays. Okay, and you can actually hear the brush. It's kind of cool. You can use different colors for your turtle. You don't need to use what I'm using. You could use a deeper brown. Okay, maybe I'll make it a on these flippers. It's going to be darker on this side because the light's coming from the other side. So I'm pressing harder than with my Logitech. I'm pressing lighter when I get closer to the other side. Again, here, I'm going to press dark, harder here. And if you're worried about messing up with your crayon tool, you can actually do this on a separate layer above your yellow layer. And that way, if you don't like it, you just delete it. Come up here. And I'm going to add a highlight color too. So I have my shadow color, which is my dark brown. And I'm going to add another color. So I am actually going to pick a white. And I'm going to bring the opacity down. And what I'm doing is, remember, these sun rays are coming this way. So the sun is hitting it here. And I just want to put a little highlight where the sun might be hitting it. And this, again, is going to show form. And again, if you don't want it, and if I go over these black lines, you can't tell because it's on a separate layer. I'm coming up here. I'm on the back fins. I'm on the front fins. I'm adding that white. And that yellow is showing through because I have my opacity not at 100%. All right, it's down here. And let's go to the top of that turtle. And if it sounds congested, it's because I am, sorry. And I think that looks really good. I'm really liking that. One thing I did forget to do, I'm on my layers, and now you can see we have our top layer, which is our drawing. Our middle layer is our color of our turtle, and our bottom layer is our ocean. Now on this top layer, I forgot to add a little bit to the turtle, so I'm going to click on it. And if you can see, red means that's the layer I'm going to work on. I'm going to go back to my marker and back to my black. And I'm just going to add these little edges to the lip of the turtle shell, and that was really it. Another thing I would just want to point out right here, these two circles that intersect, if you're ever noticing that your colors are looking kind of wonky, if you click on that, you're going to notice up here it'll say something. You want it to say normal. You don't want it to say darken, so you want to hit normal, okay? So if you're ever like, why are my colors looking so weird? All right, and that's about it. Again, you can have your turtle facing the sunlight. I did that in a previous one. You can take 2 fingers, touch the screen at the same time, and pull it out so you can see the edge. I like it. I think I'm happy with that. You can always add some seaweed here if you want, but make sure it's on a layer behind the turtle because we want that to be our main thing. When you're done, you want to go up to those 3 dots, click on them. You want to click the upload. I think you all know how to do this. Okay, and you're going to put it on Seesaw, which I don't have a Seesaw account. You're going to click Seesaw. It should also automatically save it to your photos when you click out into your gallery. Okay, so have fun. Remember, you can stop this video at any time and make sure that you use multiple layers, at least 3, and multiple tools.